Hi friends, it's Laura. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another What Sold This Week video. So this week's video is probably going to be a little bit longer because I have two Whatnot shows that I'm doing. Two. The first one I just ended, and this was part of the raid train that I've been talking about for 120 years. I participated in a Tim Burton themed raid train, and every seller that participated focused on a different Tim Burton movie as their theme. Mine was Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar Children. I've been saying home for peculiar children for God knows how long. So I'm sorry, Tim Burton and all the Miss Peregrine fans. But that was the movie that I focused on, which was set in the 1940s. And so my theme for this show, I tried to go with 1940s and then 1940s inspired. And then, of course, like just Tim Burton-y kind of vibes in general. So I sold a total of 22 items tonight for $365 before fees. After fees and the money that I spent on shipping and giveaways, I made $300.46. I also got tipped by two people, so that helped kind of probably cover the cost of the giveaways. I don't normally do giveaways, but everybody in the raid train was doing them. So I had just a general giveaway at the start of the show, and then I had a buyer's giveaway at the end. And a buyer's giveaway, as you can imagine, only people who purchased from you during the show are eligible to enter the buyer's giveaway. So I spent some money on the shipping for that, but I got tipped by other people, so it probably was a wash in that sense. And then I did spend $15 on shipping. I capped shipping at $9.21, which is like the 5 pounds worth of stuff can ship for $9.21 on Whatnot. I cover anything over that, and I had some pretty bulky stuff sell today, so I'm not surprised that I had some money spent on shipping. I did do really well in this show, especially since I don't go live at night, generally speaking. And the people that I was involved in this raid train with are not sellers. I think a lot of them are a little bit more focused in maybe a Y2K category or even like 90s Y2K. So they're not necessarily the typical sellers that I am familiar with, but it was so great. Everybody was so phenomenal. They had such fun shows. I watched a lot of their shows throughout the day, and most of their shows had much larger audiences than mine. The shows that I was seeing, people had, I would say generally like 30 to 50 people in their shows, whereas mine, I was probably hanging pretty steady around 15 people involved in my show, which is cool. I mean, I did great, so it's still good. And also, some of the other sellers had a lot more pieces. I only had 60 pieces in my show. It was a little bit pared down for me tonight. I didn't get through all 60 pieces, so that's fine. But I'm still very happy with this. I wasn't sure how it would go since I don't normally do shows at night. I'm not normally necessarily part of the same crowd as these other sellers, but also being in a raid train with them does get you some more attention that you would not otherwise have gotten. So anyway, it was a really fun experience overall. I'm so excited about it. I'm very glad I participated. I'm going to just show you the stuff I sold. I'm not going to wrap it on camera, at least for this segment, because there's a lot of stuff that's like bulkier and is going to need some special packaging, and I don't want to like make you sit through that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start and show you what I sold. So item number one is this pair of gloves. So I had a whole bunch of like these crochet gloves that I dyed in different colors. I had so many of them. So these were the only ones I had in this lovely apricot color. These sold for $10, which is what I started the bid at. And that is going to a repeat buyer for me. They're so pretty. I love them. Next is another repeat buyer who purchased one item and also won my buyer's giveaway. And I'm very excited that this buyer won because she is a repeat buyer. She buys from me all the time. So I'm super excited that she won a giveaway from me. So that was nice. She bought this blouse. This was only, I priced this at $10. That's what it sold for. It's very cute. Just a cute little blouse. And then she won a giveaway. The giveaway as of right now is sort of unclear. I had like a bunch of stuff that you could choose from, but I don't know what she wanted. I just messaged her. I might send her a couple of things because again, she's like a super regular buyer and so let's see. Next is another new to me buyer. It's the person who organized the whole show. She was phenomenal. She also bought a pair of the lace gloves from me, and I hope that she loves them. They're so pretty. I had so much fun dyeing these. It was a really fun experience. And those also sold for $10, which is what I started it at. Next up is another new to me buyer. I'm so jealous of this. So this person purchased this coat from me. So this coat, look at this thing. I love this. You may recall I got this from a recent estate sale. I was 1,000,000% going to keep this, but then I tried to put it on my body and that was not happening. This is a 70s like velvet trench coat type of situation. It's so freaking cool, but I think it's like a tween size or a junior size or something. It's really small. I couldn't even get it over my shoulders to like model it, but I put it in the show and it sold for $20, which I was very happy with. I'm so jealous of this person, but I'm glad because like sizes like that stress me out. So I'm glad that it sold, and it is like a very heavy piece. But I think that in this person's case, I'm not paying extra on shipping there. So we'll see what is happening here. Okay, there we go. So next up is a repeat buyer for me. And let me see. They purchased, got everything like on weird hangers here, this bag. So I've had this bag listed on Etsy for a jillion years. I love it so much, but it hasn't sold. So it was a fun piece to add into the show. And it sold for $15. I forget what I've had it on Etsy for, like $49, including the shipping or something. I've had this priced probably a couple of different ways. So I am very happy to have sold it, and that it went to a repeat buyer for me on Whatnot. So it's exciting. All right, next up is a new to me buyer who purchased this really pretty little 90s slip dress. I love this thing. It's so cool. I love the flower print on that. Look at it. Look at it. Gorgeous. And this sold for $17. I started the bidding at $15. So all this stuff is going to be so out of order. I don't know what. Thank God I number everything. All right, next up is a new to me buyer who was also part of the same raid train. Everybody was so supportive and like joining each other's shows and stuff. It was a lot of fun. They purchased this sort of like neck scarf thing. This was $5. So this was a last minute addition for me. I needed a 60th item just to have 60 items because I felt uncomfortable being at 59. And so that worked out. Next up is another new to me buyer. They purchased this piece. I had this listed. I put it up for $5. It's huge. It's very heavy, but it's amazing. And this is a 60s, like, I don't know if it's a robe or like a evening coat kind of thing that would have gone over an evening dress, but it has a lot of damagey kind of spots, wear like that. And then here at the sleeves, this came from, I think I referred to it as the grandma haul in a whole bunch of videos, like just basically an entire estate that I was given access to back in 2020. So I've had this for ages, and I just felt like it went with the theme of the show. I'm glad to have it out. I'm trying to pare a lot of stuff down, as you know, but it's a constant battle that I'm always losing. Anyway, so I had that started for $5, and that's what it sold for. And I am more than happy that it gets to go to a new home for $5. Next up is a repeat buyer for me, purchased 3 items. The first item is this sailor shirt, which I think is so cute, but you can see it's filthy. I got this, I don't even know how long ago, so freaking long ago. I mean, probably well before 2020. And I've had it for ages because I don't know what to do with that. Like this blue wool felt and white cotton, I don't know how to wash this. And I mean, it's a Navy uniform, so I'm sure it can't be like super delicate, handle with care, but also I'm very paranoid. So I was just like, you know what? Let's put it in the show. I think I put it at $5. Yeah. Sold it for $5. Went to a repeat buyer who's also a vintage seller who I love. So I'm excited about that. And they also purchased 2 purses from me. Where's the first one? I don't think I hung it back up. Did I? I don't know what I did with it. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know where anything is. Oh, I did. Here. So this is the first purse. This beaded bag, which I love. I've had this thing on eBay for 800 years and nobody cares. I think I had it at $89 on eBay. I listed it for $20 in the Whatnot show. It sold. It's gorgeous. I love it. I got this from an estate an estate sale where they were selling a bunch of stuff that had been used in I think it was an HBO TV show that was set in the 30s. I don't remember what the name of the show was. I don't know if I ever knew the name of the show. But I think it's a legit 30s bag that they like refurbished a little bit. It's really pretty and it's in great shape. The other item that she purchased from me was this box purse, which I love. I got this at an estate sale. And this sold for, what did you sell for? Do you not want to tell me? Whatnot is being so freaking weird. They keep changing things and confusing me with it. Okay, this ended up selling for $19. I think I started the bidding at $15, so that was nice. Okay, let's see. Let's put that away. You can see why I don't want to wrap all this stuff on camera, because this is I'm gonna need to protect things, and it's gonna be problematic. All right, next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 2 items. Very cool. The first item are these pants, which are 1930s military jodhpurs. They're so freaking cool. I got these at the same time I got this sailor shirt 8,000 years ago at an estate sale. I have a few more pieces. Look at that. And these are all these repairs that have been done on these. Isn't that cool? They're very distressed, but they're so cool. I have a couple more pieces. I just haven't known what to do with them again. So I finally pulled them out. I was like, let me just sell them off and whatnot. Those sold for, I think, $20. They were really cool. They fit me, and I was kind of like, I feel like maybe I want to keep them, but I obviously didn't. The second item that this buyer purchased was this 1940s nightgown, also sold for $20, which is what the bidding started at. I did have a couple of pieces that got bid up during the show, but not tons of them. Little moons embroidered on that. So pretty. I love this. So that was that. Let's see. Next up is a repeat buyer for me who purchased 4 items. So the first item was this hat, which I think is so cute. I got this at the yard sale that I just did a haul video for, and this is so pretty. So I paid $10 for this hat when I bought it, and I sold it, I think, for $15. It ended up selling for $19. I started the bidding at $15 on this, but it sold for $19, so that's cool. And it kind of goes on like this. It's really cute. And there's the tag in the back, Best & Co. So cool. So that sold for $19. And then the next item that this buyer purchased was this slip, which is just a black slip that I bleached, and it bleached like the stitching, but not really the nylon, which I think is so cool, or the lace. Like, it's just such a neat effect. And it's different a bunch of times. Like, I've had it in the past where it bleached the stitching out to like a deep burgundy color. Really cool. Almost like a coppery burgundy. So they got this. And then let's see. They also purchased this nightgown, which I love. So this one was one that got bid up to an amount that surprised me, but I love this. This was like a cream color, and these little stars were all in blue embroidery when I got it, but it was dingy and it wouldn't like clean up. It wouldn't brighten up. So I colored it. First, I tried to color it this like apricot color, but it didn't come out this nice, soft. It was like a very bright, not great. I didn't like it. So then I dyed it this pewter gray color over. And so this was the ultimate result, which I think is so cool. I think this is such a great like grunge style. And of course it's a long nightgown. It's so cool. Little waist tie. And I started the bidding on this, I think at $20. It got bid up to $46, which I was really surprised at, but it's so amazing. I love it so much. So that was really fun. And a nice little surprise. And then the final item that this buyer purchased was this opera coat. It's silk velvet. It is gorgeous, right? Look at these sleeves are like ridiculous. Hold on. Where's they've got this little like, your wrist comes out down here. So they've got this extra puff down there at the bottom, is stunning, but it has some moth holes and it had a giant rip in the sleeve that I repaired, obviously very visibly, but that's all I could do. And the lining is shedding. Another thing that I've had for so long and I wasn't sure what to do with it, and I finally put it in the Whatnot show. So this sold for $20, which is what I started the bidding at. I did kind of expect this to get bid up a little bit, and it didn't, and that was fine, obviously. I start the bidding where I'm comfortable. But I'm so glad to just have it sent off to a new home. It's just a lot of these older pieces, this and this, like I've had them sitting around for so long, and it's just like a little nagging thing in the back of your head, all these, you know, like the to-do list that never ends, you know? So I'm very happy that they're going to a new home, and especially some of these bulky pieces as well. That's exciting. Next is a repeat buyer for me who purchased this blouse that I love. This is so cool. So it's like a lace blouse, obviously. That's really cool. But then these sleeves, and this looked so good on. It was really amazing. And this sold for, what are we doing? This ended up selling for $23. I don't know if I started the bidding at 15 or 20, but it got bid up to 23. So that's really cool. I love this so much. All right, let's see. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased one item. This also got bid up. I was not surprised by this one though. They purchased this black velvet cape. So it's just really cool. It's just a cape. And it's got these little holes for your hands to come out, and it has a hood. So cool. And this thing is so heavy. It's amazing. So this sold for $51. I believe I started the bidding at 20 on this, and it got bid up to 51. So that was super cool. And let's see. Next is a repeat buyer who purchased one item. I don't think that this person was in the show. I think she put a pre-bid in, which she does a lot, which is fine. And she has impeccable taste all the time. This is a 40s pajama set. Love this so much. So I started the bidding at 20 and it sold for 20. This is another piece that surprised me. I kind of thought this would get bid up more, but I am still very happy with 20. And then the final item, which I didn't really sell, but it was a giveaway, was the little pack of temporary tattoos. I'll show it to you guys. So one of the reasons I don't really do giveaways too much is mostly because giveaways, like, you know, I never feel like the people who get them really care about them one way or the other. I don't know, right? But like, look, little eyeball, oops, little skull, little monster guy, little sunflower, not sunflower, daisy, and then one butterfly. I don't have that many butterflies, so I didn't want to stick a whole bunch in there. These are from the 70s. They're so neat. The person who won this was one of the people who tipped me, and I hope I didn't make them feel bad. I wonder if I did, and I wasn't intending to at all. I don't care if I run a giveaway and somebody who doesn't buy stuff from me wins. I don't care. That's not the point of the giveaways. It's just a giveaway. But a lot of people on Whatnot will run giveaways and then get mad that the people winning them don't buy things from them, which I think is dumb. But I just made a comment because the person's username was just like, it just had a very t-shirt bro kind of sound to it. And it didn't sound like somebody who would normally attend one of my shows. And so it was like, oh, I have a feeling that you're like not somebody who would normally attend one of my shows, but congratulations, won the giveaway. Like, I didn't mean it to be like, oh, and I hope they didn't take it that way, but they tipped me $1, which was really nice. They didn't have to do that. So that's one of the items that I'm sending out, as well as the other buyer's giveaway. So it was overall a really fun show. And I'm super excited about it. And tomorrow's show will be interesting because, you know, since I was doing this and I knew, you know, normally on a Wednesday night, I'm like hustling to get my show for Thursday morning ready. So I wanted to make sure that whatever I was doing for tomorrow morning was going to be something that was easy, that maybe I already had or could prepare easily. And I knew I had a bunch of plus size stuff. So I was like, let me do a plus size show. Well, I only had about 30 plus size pieces. But you know what else I had a ton of, was these kids' clothes that I got at a recent estate sale. So I decided to do plus size and kid sizes. I'm still not done loading up the kids stuff. But honestly, even if I don't finish it, like I'm fine with what I've got loaded up, you know, I just don't know how this show will go tomorrow morning because of course I don't normally do plus size. I have 30 pieces, which I know I just said. I also don't normally do kids clothes. The kids stuff is all like 70s, so it's really fucking cool. But but I'm starting it all really low, like $3 for the most part. Most of it's at like $3. A couple things are at $5. And I haven't done a lot of advertising about it. So I don't know how, you know, I don't have that many bookmarks. I don't have that many like notification things set on there. So we'll see how it goes. I have very low expectations. Hopefully it will prove to be better. I will be happy if a lot of the kids stuff is just sold, even if it's sold really low. Like if it sells and gets out, that'll be cool. I don't know why I keep buying it. I don't keep buying it, but every now and then, like I get a whole bunch of kids stuff. I'm like, this is amazing stuff. And it is, but it baffles me. So I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. Anyway, thankfully tonight's show went really well. So if tomorrow's show is an absolute bomb, I'm okay with it because tonight was great. So we'll see in a minute how tomorrow's show goes. Hang tight. Okay. Are you ready for the incredibly long and probably really tedious part 2 of this? So the good news is that I did pretty well for the show. I sold 43 items. And let's all keep in mind that a ton of these items were kids' clothes and I was selling them off at like $2, $3, $5 starts. Okay, so 43 is amazing, but there's a reason why. 43 items. I made $328 before fees, and after fees, that should come to about $273. I did spend a smidgen on shipping, $2.76. Definitely not a big deal for all of this. So that's all the good news. The bad news is I now have to package up 43 fucking pieces of inventory, and it's going to take me so long, and I don't know if I'll be able to make it to my preferred post office in time, but we're going to give it a shot. The other bad news is that I've got the plus size clothes that I sold over here, but the kids clothes that I sold, I mean, the organization for this is just, I don't have a system to do this. They're literally just all down on the floor, and I'm going to have to keep bending down and finding what I need, and it's just tedious, and I'm sorry, but I'll talk your ear off the whole time, right? So it'll be super fun that way, I'm sure. Let's just get in there because I got to go to the post office sometime today, knock on wood. The better news for me is that worst case scenario, I have a post office that's open until 7. I don't want to have to drive there, but I have it. Okay. So first up, repeat buyer for me, purchased 2 items. First is this dress that I am pretty sure, yes, this sold for $15, not including shipping, $15. My brain's not necessarily all there at the moment. Y'all are used to that, I'm sure. The folding here, I'm a little off screen, but here's the thing. With all these kids' clothes, I probably won't be too off screen. The majority of what I sold today was kids' clothes. So I was not sure how this show was going to go. And when I first went live, there were literally no people in the room. They did all kind of jump in pretty quickly, thankfully, and the kids' clothes were the first thing that we were going on, and I'm fine with that. This is the second item that sold, a kid's romper. Look how freaking cute this is. $5. $5. But I'm super excited about the buyer because I love her. She's a frequent flyer and also another seller, and I'm very happy that this is going to go to her. So let me see where all my little bags are here. All right, we got to bang this out. Bang this out. I was not going to necessarily, that's not true. I thought about not making you sit through me packaging this, but there's no way I could show you all this and then have to sort through all of it a second time for the packaging part. So not doing that. I'm squeezing all the air out of this bag. All right, that's 1 down, 7 million to go. Next up, a repeat buyer for me purchased 4 items, and these are all plus size items. So first up is this Lane Bryant cardigan. So cute. Look at the tag. Look how adorable that is. I've had this for a little while. I can't remember where. I mean, I thrifted it. I don't remember how long ago, and I've been holding it aside for the plus size show. This sold for $15. I feel like most of the plus size stuff sold for $15, but maybe something got bid up. I don't remember. We'll find out. And I definitely had a lot of the kids' stuff sell for rock bottom prices, but a couple pieces got bid up as well. I did average out 43 items, 300 and whatever I said that was, 73, something like that. It averaged out to about $7 and change, $7.62 or something like that per item. So per item cost, not my best work, but super low dollar store. I'm happy. I'm happy a lot of the kids' stuff is going. Second item this buyer purchased is this secretary style blouse. So cute. I want to be like super fun and show you all the tags and tell you detail, but A, that's pretty much what the haul videos are for, and B, I gotta hustle. I'm sorry. I don't have time to be super, you know, illustrative about the clothes. That's not the right word. There's a word that's probably better suited to what I'm saying, but I can't be very attentive to showing you all the clothing detail the way that I would like to be, because I got a boogie. Next, oh, and this sold for $15, which I think I may have said, I don't know. Next up, same buyer, Lane Bryant nightgown, so cute. And this sold also for $15. Fun, fun, fun. Let's see, I would love to show you the tag, but I don't got no time to do that. Sorry. I even feel like I should change the way the table is set up, because now I feel like I'm folding so much off screen. But the kids' clothes, there will be less folding involved. And then the fourth item that this buyer purchased, or 29, is this dress, like a 90s rayon dress. And this was also $15. So that was fun. I'm very excited to be able to get some of these plus size pieces, a new home. So one of the things that's a little, I don't want to say disappointing about the show. I mean, like, ideally I would have sold all the pieces in the same show, and there we go. That didn't happen, but realistically, that's wasn't going to happen. But now I still have like kids clothes and plus size clothes, and my normal Whatnot shows don't really pull in that crowd. So now I have to figure out what I want to do with them. Do I want to hold on to all of them for some future day where maybe once again, I'll be able to have a show like this? I feel like that's not realistic or smart of me considering my space constraints. I don't know. I did think about possibly reaching out to someone that I know online, not a specific someone. I have a couple people in mind, but people who sell kids clothes, and just say, hey, look, I've got all this stuff. Do you have any interest in it? In like buying it at like $2 per item, whatever, something like that. One person lives within a drivable distance. Another person does not. So, shipping would be a consideration there. The person that is not drivable would probably be my first choice just from a personal relationship standpoint, but who knows, see what happens. And then the plus size clothing, I do have a local drivable person who I could reach out to see if she was interested. But that's if they're interested, So, all right, next up is another repeat buyer for me, and she purchased 3 items. 2 of which were plus size pieces, and the third was a kid's piece. So let me get that kid's piece first. So I don't know if she purchased it. Like, this is a weird, this was marked size 6X, okay? Maybe it is just like a plus size. I don't know. I found this with all the kids' clothing at the estate sale. But it measures like 52 inches at the chest. So I don't know. I don't need to know her reasons for purchasing it. It does not matter. This sold for, I want to say $3. So that's all for $3. Little corduroy thing. Get that folded up. I should bag this a little separately because it is kind of a mess. It's not like neat and washed and pretty. It's like dug out of an attic. So maybe I'll put this in a separate baggie before I put it all with the other 2 pieces that are not as attic-y. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. So it's kind of cloudy out today, so I've got all the lights blaring, which means I also have the AC blaring, because during my show I did not have the AC running. I did get a little warm. It's not that hot outside today, but it got hot enough apparently. All right, here's the first thing. I don't normally pull the tape off of the tape. Rizzo loves to eat these things. You got to be careful because these can actually probably cause foreign body obstructions in cats. So I'm very nervous about these things all the time. I don't know what to do with it. Shove it into my sewing basket, I guess. Okay. Next up, this same buyer who got that, what I think is a kid's thing, but maybe it's not, got this dress, which I love. This is very pretty. This sold for, I believe, 15, but let's take a look. 23, so it did get bid up, which is fun. Really pretty. I started it at 15 for sure. I think this is handmade. There's no tags. It seems like it's handmade. I love it. I think it's got such a nice cut to it. It's definitely, I think, I'm saying plus size, but I think it was like an extra large. Yeah. When I tried it on, I mean, it was too big for me, but it just hung really beautifully. So even though it was too big for me, it didn't look like I was dressing up in somebody else's clothes necessarily. So I feel like on the proper size body, it's going to be so pretty. And then the third item that she purchased from me was this jumpsuit, which I love. And there's the tag on that. This is also an extra large, and this, I was going to say I'm assuming it sold for 15, but I assume the last one sold for 15. This sold for 15, so that's cool. We'll get these packaged up. And I've got my feline friend, Rizzo, is currently busy sitting in a bag that's on my bed, so that's good for me. Biz. All right, so I can fold with some relative ease. She's certainly been interactive the past couple days. I forget what she did during today's show, but I feel like she was slightly rambunctious. Oh, she was trying to chew on the phone cord when I plugged the phone in to charge. So as she's chewing on the cord, the phone's like jerking around. Like, Rizzo, we're trying not to give people seizures during my Whatnot shows, if that's okay with you. Put these two in here. One of the things that was really nice last night after I showed you all what I sold during my Whatnot show, you know, I didn't package it when I showed it to you, and I packaged it after the fact. And as I packaged it, I wrote all the thank you cards and everything. Usually I do that as I'm printing the shipping labels, and I feel like the shipping was just so much more pleasant. So I guess when I'm done filming this, oh, I gotta get the air out, sorry. I'll write all my little thank you notes before I go to print the ship. Maybe not, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It was nice, but I don't wanna make you watch me write thank you notes. That would be very tedious. Okay, next up. New to me buyer purchased one item. So far, all these kids' clothes have been relatively easy to find. Little Oshkosh Bagosh purple corduroy dress. This sold for $6. I think I started it at $3, maybe $5. I don't remember. Unimportant. So, sold for $6. Let's see. I've got my little bags here. I don't know how many individual items I've got, but that's okay. Let's get this in the baggy bag. All right, I guess I'm not gonna pull all the little tabs off because that'll be awful. All right, next. I'm talking to myself a lot. Even though I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself. All right, next up is a new to me buyer who purchased one item. These very cute overalls. These had a pre-bid on them. I think these were the only thing that had a pre-bid before the show started, which I was surprised. There was so much good stuff, but also several of the really awesome pieces I didn't get loaded up into the show until this morning, so it was so last minute. All right, let's see. Get these little overalls folded. These sold for $5. which is what I started them at, which is fine, obviously. Let's see. That was kind of my high point, was if it was like the really awesome kids stuff, I started at $5, or the stuff that I thought was really awesome, I started at $5. All right, next is a buyer who's purchased from me in the past, and they purchased this kids t-shirt. Let me see if now I got to dig. See, I made it hard on myself. I got too cocky. I was like, oh, everything's been really easy to find so far. Ha, ha, ha. Now I got to dig. All right, let's see. I really have to dig. My goodness. Where'd you go, girl? Where did you go, little shirt? There it is. Okay. See. All right. Repeat buyer for me. Purchased this kids t-shirt. I feel like she's probably a tinier size, so this is likely for her. This is definitely good for like an extra small person. And this shirt sold for $7. I started it definitely no higher than $5. I don't remember what I started it at. I could have been $5 because I think it's really cool. So, all right, let's see. Get this packaged up. Come on, bags. Please help me out. All right. Next is a buyer who purchased 6 items. So let's see. First up is the last plus size item that I sold, this dress, which is gorgeous. That was in my most recent haul video. And this sold for $20, which I believe is what I started it at. And I think I started it at 20, that's a tag, because I think I paid maybe $8, or I think I paid a little more for this than normal. Rizzo. All right. We're not folding this on the table because Rizzo's there and problems. Sorry, person who purchased this, if you watch these videos. Sorry, it's not folded better. Rizzo's problematic. Okay. Next up, she purchased this shirt. It's a new old stock boys shirt. And this sold for $3. Look at that. I don't even have to fold it because it's already folded. Love it. Next is another already folded item. Rizzo, can you please stop eating plastic? I would appreciate it. Okay. This brown plaid, and this sold for $3. Also don't have to fold it. It's beautiful. And then the next item that they purchased were these vintage Gitano pants. These are so cute. I love these. These are almost for like a super small adult. Maybe they are. And they sold for $5. Yay. Let me fold those. I got to actually fold those. The not folding thing that lasted for 2 seconds was really nice. All right, let's see. Next is a sundress. Really cute. Look at that. So adorable. And this sold for some amount of money, $7. So again, I probably started it at $5. It got bid up to $7. Look at that action. Sweet. All right, fold that up. And I think she's got one more. Yes. And the final item that she purchased, can I see it from up here? No, there it is. There it is this adorable little Polly Flinders dress. Look at that. There's Polly's tag. This sold for $6. I think, again, I started at $5. It got bid up to $6. So that's cool. One poor person commented during my show that it was their first time purchasing but wouldn't be their last. I'm like, I don't normally sell kids stuff, so sorry. Don't want to be a disappointment. But if you're here for the kids stuff, I can't promise that this is going to happen again anytime soon. So I'm sure it will happen again someday, because despite the fact that I half regret some of these decisions, I will probably do this again anyway. It's fun though. When you find like a whole estate full of awesome stuff, it is fun. But honestly, like populating the Whatnot show with all this stuff. I don't know. It's hard. I feel like I'm pricing it super low to get it out, which I kind of am, but also then why did you bring it in the first place? But the last time I did a kids show, it was with a whole bunch of stuff that I got from my friend's attic. So it was stuff that I got for free, and I got like tons of stuff that were like adult clothes, you know. So it was a labor of love that was worth it because the vintage is just fun and everything, but it's a lot. Let's see. All right, next up is new to me buyer, purchased one item. This crochet knit kids dress. Little metal zipper down the back. And this sold for $6. I'm sure I started it at $5. So maybe lower, but probably $5. Let me get that folded up with sound effects included. All right, let's see. Let's see. There we go. Next up is new to me buyer, purchased 2 items, both Disney themed. Let's see. Where did we go? Nope. Nope, 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 nope. There's one. Give me one moment to find item number 2. There it is. Thank you all. First up, this leather Walt Disney World belt. This is adorable, but it's so freaking tiny. When I was looking up the measurements, it looks like it fits like a literal infant, 18-inch waist. I started it at $1. It sold for $6, so that was great. And then the second item that they purchased was this 101 Dalmatians sweater. So cute. Is that tag? And this sold for $10. I know I didn't start at more than $5. So look at me. And that got requested once. Nobody bid. Got requested a second time. Got bid up to $10. So yay. And this I had in multiple Whatnot shows. Definitely a kids show that I did in the past. I feel like I've done more than one. I've done at least 2 kids shows. So I think that was in both and never sold. And it sold today for $6. So that was excellent. And I know in the previous shows, I didn't start it that I think, again, the highest I would have started it was $3. I think I dropped it down to $1 today, a $1 start, because I looked at the size and I was like, who puts leather belts on infants? I don't know. Maybe people do that. I don't know. I'm 52 years old and I don't want to wear a leather belt. That's not true. There's some that are really cool. I do want to wear them. All right. Next, a new to me buyer purchased one item. This is an eyelet dress. I don't remember what I started this at, but again, no higher than $5. And this sold for $13. So that was fun. It's really pretty. We're going to just hurry up and get this. I feel bad because there's like little linty things all over these and everything, but like this was not a show where I was going into all this like, I mean, honestly, even my regular Whatnot pricing, $15 items, you know, that's like, there's not as much maintenance going into a lot of that, but I will make repairs and things like that. But especially not $3 and $5 starts. I was just like, it's fresh out of the attic. And there we go. All right, next is a repeat buyer for me who purchased 2 items. All right, let's see. First is this dress that I don't want to fold. So I am sorry. I'm going to do such a janky job folding this because it's cute. It's like this little wrap dress, but I just don't want to do all the straightening and everything to fold this because I'm in a rush and I'm going to lose my mind and my pants are too tight around my waist and I'm tired from last night and blah, 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 blah. There's a piece of my hair on this dress. This dress sold for some amount of money, $5. I think these each were $5. Yeah, each one of these things was $5. The second thing, I'm gonna have to look at the photo of the dress to make sure I've got the right one. 1, 2, there. Janky folding. And then, let me see this one. Okay. this. Yes, this is the second dress, also for $5. This is a Polly Flinders. And it's just a cute little dress. $5. I know Polly Flinders is a brand that can sell for a ton of money on eBay. I don't necessarily do that well with them. I think that eBay figures out what your niche is. And if you try to sell outside of your niche, it basically laughs at you. It's like, nice try. Back in your lane, sweetie. So, that's okay. Let me see if I can get this shoved in here. I can. All right, let's see. There's so many items still. So many. Hi, Rizzo. What's up, ma'am? All right, let's see. Next. Am I really almost? Okay. There's only 3 more packages, although they're more multi-item. Okay, next up. That's that. Okay. I'm going to try and grab all the items while I'm down here. This. This, and this. Okay. Got them all. This buyer purchased 4 items, all kids' clothes, as you can imagine. So first up is this little soccer sweatshirt, which I think is really cute. I think this is great for like a women's extra small, if you like it really like fitted and cute. This sold for $4. I think I did not start anything at 4, so I think I started it at 3. So I got that. Next, she got these Garfield pajamas. So just little pinstripey pants. We're gonna fold those up. I'll show you the pajama in a second here. Cute, right? Those sold for $3. Now here's the thing, right? When we talk about this a lot, when I do all my what sold videos and everything, this seems like so much work for a $3 sale, a $4 sale, and that's before fees, right? And fees on whatnot. For example, this $3 Garfield pajama set, after the fees, I get $2.37. So there's the commission was 8%, so that's 24 cents. But then there's a PayPal fee as well, and PayPal charges 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. So when you work out what the percentage is, $2.37 out of $3, that's going to be a much higher percentage. Like I normally kind of calculate my whatnot earnings as roughly 15%. This is going to be more. I didn't do that math. Let's see. Can I do the math? Are we going to all like cry? 2.37 divided by 3. So that's like 21%, right? Because it's 30 cents per transaction. So, you know, it's not great. But again, collectively, from all of this work that I've been doing for weeks and then a 2-hour show, I made, what did I say? $273. So, you know, it's a lot, but it's also, it was good. I don't know. This sweatshirt, cute. Look at that classic car, right? Isn't that neat? That sold for $6. I think I started it at 5, maybe lower. I don't remember. So $6 is nice. There we go. And then the final, this sweatshirt, which I've had since 2020. I had it in my other 2 kids whatnot shows that I know that I did. I did at least 2. And they obviously didn't sell. Today it sold for $5, which I'm sure is what I started the bidding at. So there we go. Those, get these into a nice little bag here. So let's see. So between last night and today, I will have made $573, which I think is nice. I mean, it's rough because I've been prepping these shows for literal weeks, like a month, right? The kids show probably a little bit less time than that, but it's still been like a lot of work. But it's very nice. I'm happy with the results of it, so that's good. What was that? All right, next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 7 items. So let's see. First up is this turtleneck. Obviously, it's like a new and packaged turtleneck. This sold for $3. Obviously, what I started the bidding at. Maybe not obviously. Next is this pair of vintage Levi's, which again is one of those sizes, like could it fit a really tiny adult person? Maybe, I don't know. It didn't have a size marked on them. It's got this like sheaves of wheat kind of design there. Sorry, I know it's shadowy when I get up close, or the light's blowing it out or something weird is going on. These sold for $6. I think I started the bidding at 5 on these. All right, that's that. Next, oh, the next one is good. I don't remember if they got bid up though. These pants. These definitely may fit a smaller adult person. Look at these, man. They're very like Beatle-esque. Button fly. So cool. And these sold for $19. Definitely did not start the bidding that high. I believe I started it at 5. I'd be surprised if I started it at 10. I don't know. Maybe I did it at 15. I don't remember. I think I've tried to sell these on Whatnot before. It was already set up in my shop. It's possible I started it as high as $15. I don't know. But it sold for 19, so that's cool. Next, same buyer still. This little vintage Arizona t-shirt. Cute, cute. This sold for $2, which I think is what I started it at. I don't know. I did most of my like starts as 3 and 5, but I did have a lot of 2s. I had a couple of 1s. It's just a vibe. It's like, I don't know why I'm starting it at this price. That's just where I'm starting it. So, and then the final, no, not the final. Still got 3 more. Next up for this buyer was this little vintage sweatshirt. The kids Twix. So cute. This sold for $4. So I think I probably started it at 3. It's got some staining on it that may come out in the wash, but I don't know. So go. And then next, yeah. Oh, that right. Okay. Let me get them both while I'm down here. This and this. Next is this vintage Gap denim vest. So cute. There's the tag. Very old school Gap. I remember that tag. And that sold for, oh my God, these pants are so, they're not, I don't know how to describe it. That sold for $5. And then the final item that this buyer purchased was this really cute dress. Again, maybe it would fit a tiny adult person. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I love it. And this sold for $6. I probably started it at 5. So this I'm going to have to fold around Miss Rizzo, who has decided to once again come lay on my table. Thankfully, for the most part, I don't have a whole lot of stuff that's hard to fold with her in the way, but a little bit. Dress. Can I squish this all into a bag? Obviously I can. So after this, I still have 2 non-Whatnot items to package up and ship. So get that done. 2 o'clock now. It'd be really amazing if I could get all this done and go to my regular post office, because I have to take all the stuff from today, all the stuff from last night, whatever my boyfriend sold, we also have to go. And just, I like my regular post office person. She was on vacation for like 2 weeks, and I haven't seen her since she got back. She's been back for like 4 days, but my boyfriend's been going to the post office for me every day. But there's a lot to take today, so I feel like either we should both walk up together. It's so close, like a 3-minute walk, or I should drive, but driving seems ridiculous. Okay, let's see. That was 7 items. Okay. And then my last package, 8 items, all going to the same buyer. So first up is this cute dress. These are all going to get very janky folding jobs because Rizzo. This sold for $11. Again, could be a small adult size. There's that cute tag. Adorable dress. I love it. Sorry, new to me buyer. I normally fold way better than this. I've got a cat who's being just... You can't make Rizzo angry. Let's just say it does not go well for anyone. And so we try not to do it. So next is an actual kid's dress. This is a Polly Flinders. Again, like super crazy bright coloring. So cute. Oh, there's the tag there. Rizbiz, no ma'am. Sorry. Sorry. No. Love you. I know. I'm sorry. Now she's biting me because I wouldn't let her play with the strings on the dress. $3 on that Polly Flinders. Next is another girl's dress. So this was marked like size 6. It's a cute little floral kind of jumper style. Adorable. This sold for $3. Okay. Next is a really cute little sweatshirty thing. This is class of 87. This sold for $4. I think I started it at $3. Folded that. Next. All right, we'll go with this. Is this, I'm calling it a flower girl dress. It's like that type of, semi-formal-ish kind of party dress for a little girl. Has a little metal zipper in the back. So cute. This sold for $3 also. Why did I start this at $3? Maybe because I don't know. Here's the thing. I definitely can sometimes price emotionally. So if I think like this is really cool, I'll price it higher. If I'm like, whatever, then I'll price it lower. So apparently I was feeling whatever about that dress. This dress, I know I was feeling whatever about. Where's your little secondary part? All right, this, I have to find it. This has, oh, there it is. Hold on one second. This is another like flower girl type of dress that had a little bag full of accessory things in it. And this sold for also $3. This thing is pretty filthy. So I wasn't surprised that I listed that for $3. This is maybe not all going to fit in one bag. Next up is a really cute dress. I love this dress. I was mad that it was a kid's dress. It sold for $5. I don't think it got bid up. I'm pretty sure I started this at $5. Look at that. Adorable. So, yay. Oops, sorry again, Rizzo. Sorry, ma'am. And then the final item that this buyer purchased, and that was purchased during my show, was this very cute dress that I kind of feel like could be a shirt on an adult person, but I also kind of feel like it looks like an adult person wearing a kid's dress as a shirt, but that could also just be me because my arms are too long for the sleeves. This is the dress. Look at this collar. So cute, obviously, right? So cute. So much fun. And this sold for $5, which I'm pretty sure is what I started the bidding at. It did not get bid up. So adorable though. All right, that wasn't too bad. 37 minutes. I felt like that was a 15-minute video segment, but obviously it was longer. I got to go like print all these friggin' labels. So let's see. All right, but you're going to stay tuned, or you've bailed 20 minutes ago. I don't know. But the next segment I'm doing is my what sold on all the other platforms throughout the rest of this week. So stay tuned for that, I guess. And if you do, God bless you for staying tuned for this long. Thank you. So I'll be right back. All right, let's see what I sold throughout the rest of the week. I'm going to be rushing through this because I've got some things I need to do. So much. All right, so on Etsy, we're going to start off with this. This is a cute little t-shirt that I sold, little yellow floral print. I had it listed for $39. The buyer used a 20% off coupon, bringing it to $31.20. I paid $4.52 in shipping, so I made $26.68 on this little t-shirt. Next up is this sheet, which I got from that hoarder house glassware situation, and it's beautiful. I love it. I listed it for $59. The buyer used a 20% off coupon, bringing it to $47.20. I paid $9.20 in shipping. It was going to California, and it was between 1 and 2 pounds, so I sent it in a priority padded flat rate mailer, $9.20. So I made $38 on that. Yay. Next up is this black dress. I got this back in like 2020 from a Giant Estate. This is a sheer black lace dress. It was so pretty, and I listed it for $59. Once again, the buyer used a 20% off coupon, bringing it to $47.20. I paid $5.80 in shipping, so my profit on this was $41.40. You can see the running theme here is that everybody on Etsy that has made a purchase from me in the past week has been using a 20% off coupon. And yeah, actually even last week, 3 out of my 4 Etsy sales all used coupons as well. So it's definitely a coupon heavy environment there for me. eBay, I have this chenille blanket that I sold. This also came from the glassware hoarder house. I had it for ages. I listed it for $129. The buyer paid full price for this. The buyer also pays shipping, so I made $129 on this. Very excited about that. And I was also glad to have a big blanket out of my house. Next, this I got from my most recent estate sale, the same one that I got that Belle Beauty and the Beast t-shirt from last week. So this is a little Barney sweatshirt. You can see I had it listed for $49. I was getting a ton of people offering me $20 for it, which I felt was really low. I do think I priced it kind of high at $49, like reasonably on the high end, but definitely at the high end. I felt like $20 was too low. Finally, I had somebody who was going back and forth with me a little bit, and I ended up accepting an offer for $30. I would have been happier around like a $39 mark, but I didn't feel like $30 was unreasonable. So they paid $30, also paid shipping, so I made $30 on this. Next up on eBay, this also came from that same estate as Barney and the Beauty and the Beast shirt that from last week. Little Fisher Price bunny lovey blanket thing. I, as you can see, listed it for $49. This is another one where pricing was kind of all over. So again, I'm at the higher end of reasonable. And what did we pay? The buyer made me an offer of $25 on this, and I kind of just was like, fuck it, and accepted the offer, right? Like I was like, whatever. So I made $25 on that. Buyer paid shipping. And now we're moving on to Depop. I got 2 Depop sales during the week, 0 POSHMARK sales. Again, POSHMARK is like useless for me. It's ridiculous. The first one was this Pawtucket motorcycle sweatshirt. Same estate sale as Beauty and the Beast tee, the bunny, the Barney, you know. This I listed for $99. I believe it's from the 70s. It may be older. The sweatshirt did not have any tags, plain on the front. And I could not find, for the life of me, I couldn't find anything about this motorcycle shop. It's got these armpit gussets, which I thought was really cool. And I do feel like that's an age indicator, but I just don't know enough. This is what the inside looked like, just because older sweatshirts have a different look to them. Had some staining. It was really cool. I listed it at $99. And I was going to say, I could not find any information on this motorcycle shop at all. The only thing I was finding was there was an episode of American Pickers where I think they went to the barn of the wife of the motorcycle shop's owner. And, but I couldn't watch the episode without like subscribing to something and whatever. So I didn't watch it. I was just trying to figure out when the shop closed to help me kind of date the item a little bit better, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, I listed it for $99. Somebody sent me an offer of $75, which I accepted. I paid $7.11 in shipping. So I made $67.89 on this item. It's really cool. And then my final item for the week was also a Depop sale, this patchwork hoodie, which I had listed for $39. I've had it listed for a really long time. It's one of those things where, let me see. Oh, I can't show you the tag without watching a video, and we don't want to do that. It like might be like 90s-ish era. I wasn't sure, but it was really cool. The buyer sent me an offer for $26. And once again, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I just accepted it. it wasn't that low. I would have preferred like 29, and it's a $3 difference, and who fucking cares, right? So I accepted that offer, paid $7.67 in shipping because it's a sweatshirt, and so I made $18 on this. So that's cool. I will take it. Anyway, those are my sales for the week. I'm not surprised that my other platforms have been a little bit slow. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not great. But I also have been paying zero attention to them because I was so focused on all the Whatnot shows that I was getting ready for. So we'll see what happens. I don't anticipate this coming week to be a whole lot better because I have to go out of town. So we'll see what happens. I got to put my shop on vacation mode, so probably not much. Anyway, thank you for watching this. I appreciate it so much, and I will see you again soon.